Sauce has a question for you both. I make around $240K as a 25-year-old.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
So there's some opportunity here. Let's see what he says. I would like to get a RAV4 hybrid, which is about $40K. But can I afford this? I just can't seem to justify this with the opportunity cost I have with investing, and I would appreciate some guidance. Thanks.
So first of all, there's a lot of people going, oh my gosh, Squeaky Sauce, you make $1 gazillion and you're so young. I want to give Squeaky Sauce some compassion here, because here's what people have here's what Squeaky Sauce has recognized. Squeaky Sauce knows how powerful his or her dollars can be, right? If you hold up the wealth multiplier, Squeaky Sauce went and said at 25 years old, I know that $40,000 I could go buy this RAV4 hybrid with could turn into X number of dollars by the time that I get to age 65. Squeaky Sauce knows that
44.
It's a 44 multiplier on those dollars. That 40,000 multiplied 44 times over by the time they get to retirement. So they struggle with it. They're thinking, man, can I do that? Is there opportunity cost? How do I know if I can afford it? So what I think we ought to answer, Brian, is if someone's thinking about buying a car, how do they know they can afford it? One thing that immediately comes to my mind is, okay, are you saving 25%?
Yeah.
Are you saving 25% of your gross income, whether you make $250,000 a year or you make $25,000 a year? Am I saving 25% for the future? Once you start doing that, once you've hit that threshold, especially when you're young, above and beyond that, you get to choose what you do with your dollars. You get to choose, do I save more? Do I invest more? Do I let my lifestyle increase? Do I give more? Do I fill in the blank more? So long as you've crossed that first threshold. So now back to Squeaky's question, can I afford it? Is $40,000 an appropriate car for me to buy? Is that, I'm curious to know your answer, Brian. It's a hybrid, but is it a luxury car? At $40,000 for a 25-year-old, is that luxury? Is it not luxury? Where do you factor into the equation? And then if I am going to buy it, if I'm Squeaky, how do I approach buying a car? What are some of the things I should think about?
Yeah, I think, because you're setting me up to talk about 23.8, but I want to kind of come back before I talk about 23.8, is that I think Squeaky Sauce has to think about really what's the end game? What's the why? And maybe that's something too hard to ask for a 25-year-old, because if you'd asked me at 25 when I thought I was going to retire, I'd have told you 50. Now here I am right around the door from 50, and I'm like, oh, I'm not anywhere close to retiring because I'm having too much fun. But I do think it's one of those things where Squeaky Sauce, you should start playing around with the numbers of knowing what you're actually saving for, because if you'll go check out at learn.moneyguy.com, we have your Know Your Number course. You can quickly run some scenarios and figure out, am I probably a 65-year retiree? Am I a 60-year, leave the workforce? Or am I a 45 to 50-year-old? Because those are going to have two different answers. If you are 45 to 50 years of age that you think you're going to leave because you're in this hyper income situation, maybe that comes with extra stress and other things, then you'd probably need to be saving 40 to even beyond. And that's why I don't want to just say, yeah, go buy it because you make a lot of money, because I think that's what a lot of people's temptation. You kind of have to begin with the end in mind and know exactly what the why is. But once you figure out your retirement and how that fits in with the Know Your Number, if you are somebody who's leaving the workforce probably 55 and beyond, then I think this is a step 8 decision.
Okay.
Meaning that I think that you probably could, of the financial order of operations, once you get past the 25%, rock and roll, because I want to make sure that Squeaky's not skipping the saving for the foundation. Now, look, if you're also, I don't know which city they live in, I don't know what the transportation. I do give a lot of grace on 23.8 because I want you to have a dependable car to get you to work. Because a lot of people want you to pay 100% cash for cars. We came up with 23.8 because we want you to put 20% down, finance for no longer than 3 years, and your payments can't exceed 8% of your income. But this is just to keep you safe. And remember, your investments always have to exceed what your monthly car payments. But this does not mean $40,000 car typically for me. This means for me, like when I graduated college, I went and bought a used Mazda 626 for $10,000. So because you can get dependable transportation for 15, 20 grand. It's not 40 grand. Just I want to challenge Squeaky. If you have dependable transportation, you're in this great income situation, let's kind of begin with the end in mind, know what you're saving for. And this probably is a step 8, meaning you've got to get to 25% of your gross income before you go start patting yourself on the back and rewarding yourself with a nicer car. Not that a hybrid RAV4 is over the top. It's not like you're trying to go buy a Mercedes or a BMW, but I want to challenge, because you're 25 years old and there's my fear for a 25-year-old who's already making close to $250,000 is, how sustainable is that? Now, maybe this is something you can do forever, but you just don't have enough years behind you to know if you get to keep this. So it's just that much more important to make sure you build that foundation while you're in this blessed opportunity where you have all this money coming in.
Now, tell me if you agree with this, Brian, because this is the last piece of advice I'd give Squeaky Sauce. Because I was in a similar situation earlier this year. I bought a truck. I did not necessarily need a new car, but I wanted to. And I understand that there's an opportunity cost based on my age, based on my multiplier, that those dollars could be better working. And so I wanted it to be painful. Like, I wanted it to hurt a little bit. And while I could have financed it and done 23.8 because it would not be considered a luxury automobile, I thought, I want this to be painful. I'm just going to pay cash so that it stung a little bit. So that I remember, man, when I make these big decisions, I want it to hurt a little bit so that I do it infrequently. Good idea, bad idea. Would you advise Squeaky Sauce to do that? Or would you say, no, go finance it 3 years, 36 months?
It depends on how far off he is from 25% savings. I mean, it's
sure.
very, there's a lot of variable things there. No, I'm not going to pick on Bo. I came this close. So when y'all come for the tour, we ought to take the tour out to the garage so you can see this monster that Bo drives around in. And then you'll know why I was thinking about picking on him, but I didn't. I didn't take it.